Still ahead tonight on Time Warner Cable 8 News at 7, the medical update.
I'm Jade Boice, and if you're hitting the tanning salon in anticipation of spring break, you'll want to hear about a new state law in effect. Stay tuned, the medical update is next.
Well, spring break is fast approaching, and many are hitting the tanning booth in anticipation. Cable 8's Jade Boice looks at new regulations in place for tanning salons in this week's medical update.
It's just a safeguard to make sure all the tanning establishments are adequately protecting their customers and they have safe equipment.
Since the beginning of the year, the county health department has been inspecting local tanning salons to make sure they're following safety guidelines set by New York State.
They've checked our sanitizing methods. We've had to check it to make sure that it's appropriate and accurate. They check the beds, they check for electrical stuff.
As well as the owner of the establishment has control over those beds, so there's a maximum amount of time that those beds can be utilized, and then they're shut down and they have to be reset by the the owner or the owner's staff, so people can't repeatedly reset the button and tan over and over again.
The health department checks to make sure everyone who tans signs a consent form outlining the risks associated with exposure to UV rays.
When you go, to extremes, if you were to allow to repeatedly tan and you were to blister, for example, your risk of skin cancer goes way up, particularly with the young teenagers. It's demonstrated that kids who receive a severe sunburn, in their teen years are more likely or at greater risk of developing some sort of melanoma later in life.
Kids under 14 aren't allowed to use tanning facilities, and those between 14 and 17 need to have parental consent. Currently, the American Academy of Pediatrics is trying to get a law passed banning anyone under the age of 18 from tanning at all.
In the teen years, your skin is still developing and you're more susceptible to ultraviolet radiation. So therein the risk is greater in those years to, if you did happen to be overexposed to any type of ultraviolet radiation, including the sun, including tanning devices, you are at a greater risk of later developing some sort of melanoma.
You have to get a parental consent to go in the sun, basically. I think they need a cutoff of age, but I don't know if it's 18. Maybe 16 would be 14 or 16. I don't know if 18 has to go that far.
For more on the proposed law, go online to the American Academy of Pediatrics website. With the medical update, Jade Boice, Time Warner, Cable 8 News.